With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve.
Absolutely, Lucy. Sean Olivier has shown great potential to secure third. It's now a matter of channeling that momentum into a strong performance during the race.
Sean Olivier is now up -0.22 in Westfield Bend.
There's no guarantee that Sean Olivier can maintain this delta through the rest of the lap.
Currently in 10th, Martin Meyer has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position.
Absolutely, Lucy. Martin Meyer has put in a remarkable effort to secure 10th. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
Martin Meyer is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.39 seconds down. A solid performance from Danny Van Ruyen as they currently hold position 2. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid. Impressive work from Rian van der Westhuizen, who has claimed 8th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position. It seems like There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at Brands Hatch. GP 50 rupees, as we're getting ready to kick things off. Commentator is 20th.
Not a grid spot commentator will relish.
And we have lift off. The race is now underway. This first sector will test the drivers' skills and their ability to stay focused.
This is where the real action begins. The drivers will be jostling for position and trying to gain any advantage they can.
Absolutely. It's a crucial part of the race, and the drivers will need to be on top of it to make it through here unscathed.
The first sector is always a bit of a nail-biter. With so many cars bunched together, one small mistake can be disastrous.
They'll need to keep their wits about them and stay focused if they want to come out of this section unscathed. The racing is normally closely fought here at Brands Hatch. GP 50 rupees. I think we are in for a cracking race.
Every corner, every lap, and every race is a chance for these drivers to hone their abilities and improve their skills.
The tensions are high, and no one will want to make a crucial mistake on the first lap.
I'm looking forward to this one, Lucy, and we'll see a return to form for James Leach in this outing in Great Britain.
Virtual safety cars deployed.
I don't know what they had for breakfast, but it seems like Robert Rollwink Coots found the secret sauce for a fantastic start.
If Robert Rollwink Coots can keep this up, they might just become the star of the show today, Lucy.
It's a steady race for Jean-Pierre Du Toit so far. They haven't made any mistakes, and they are maintaining their focus. John, what's the impact of tire degradation on race strategy? How does it affect a driver's approach to the race?
Tire degradation plays a crucial role in race strategy, Lucy. Teams and drivers have to consider the optimal time to pit for fresh tires and adjust their race pace to balance speed with tire conservation. It adds another layer of complexity to the racing challenge.
Looks like Rian van der Westhuizen is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer.
Get ready.
It's all
Get
about
ready.
maintaining that
Get
fine
ready.
line between speed
Going
and
green.
control. The mental game is just as important here. Rian van der Westhuizen must keep their cool while putting pressure on Jean-Pierre Du Toit.
This is going to be a nail-biter. Richard Footman is defending for their life, but JP Brand is right there doing everything they can to force a mistake. Danny Van Ruyen is placed first at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Sean Olivier, who is 0.5 seconds behind. The race is heating up as Richard Footman in 16th closes in on JP Brand. The gap is just over. Drivers will need to be on top of it to make it through here unscathed.
The first sector is always a bit of a nail-biter. With so many cars bunched together, one small mistake can be disastrous.
They'll need to keep their wits about them and stay focused if they want to come out of this section unscathed. It seems like Sean braking development. Oh dear, Rian van der Westhuizen has had an incident. The gap between Danny Van Ruyen and Sean Olivier is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Danny Van Ruyen to even allow Sean Olivier to get a look in. Things are going according to plan for Joni Geldenhuys, who is currently 4th.
Absolutely, and they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Ronnie Jonker, who is currently in P4. But Joni Geldenhuys is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Ronnie Jonker. The race is heating up as Jamie Ray Nichols in 7th closes in on Donovan Liu. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. Hold on a moment. Looks like commentator is coming into the pits early. Now is that to serve a penalty, or have they picked up some damage during the start? It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Jamie Ray Nichols, as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time.
They certainly aren't going to be close enough to mount any kind of challenge soon unless it's down to a mistake from Donovan Liu.
Looks like Sean Olivier is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about maintaining that fine line between speed and control.
The tension is building as Roynick Visser trails behind James Leach. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. James Leach is pushing to maintain the lead, while Roynick Visser is working to close in and challenge for the position. Oh, this is getting intense. Martin Meyer is just behind Willy Van Wyck.
They say rubbing is racing, but if Martin Meyer gets too close, they might end up trading carbon fiber souvenirs instead of positions.
It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Martin Meyer gaining places and Willy Van Wyck losing them.
Absolutely, Lucy, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and Martin Meyer can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep driving.
Braking alert. That won't be ideal for Jean-Pierre Dutoit. It may seem like Willy Van Wyck is far behind, but Drie and Griesel can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Willy Van Wyck an opening to catch up. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Sean Olivier trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Danny Van Ruyen. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts.
It's going to be tough for Sean Olivier, as Danny Van Ruyen seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Sean Olivier pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
Joni Geldenhuys is placed third at the moment. Things don't seem to be going Ronnie Jonker's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here.
Every race adds to a driver's experience, both good and bad. It just highlights that Ronnie Jonker is going to have to get more serious with practice if they don't want to be outclassed on the circuit.
Even though Donovan Liu is a fair way behind Jacobus Besson, they can't afford to let their guard down. Jacobus Besson is still vulnerable to mistakes.
Surely they've got enough in the tank to pull away. Gonna be interesting to watch this battle unfold.
Things are heating up as James Leach tries to close the gap to Robert Roelwink Koets. Braking alert. That won't be ideal for Jean-Pierre Dutoit. The crowd is on its feet as James Leach chases down Robert Roelwink Koets through Brabham Straight.
If James Leach pushes too hard, they might find themselves exploring the scenic route, and nobody's got time for sightseeing during a race.
Big gains for James Leach as they move up the field, leaving Robert Roelwink Koets behind.
Definitely, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and anything can happen. James Leach needs to keep driving with focus and intensity.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Chris Van Zyl will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. Looking at the lap times, Roinick Visser is not currently on pace with Chris Van Zyl. Maybe they'll get a chance to see where they can improve. A solid performance from Danny Van Ruyen, who is holding down first. The delta between Donovan Liu in 6th and Jacobus Besson remains over a second, but Donovan Liu is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 12 minutes left in this session to make that happen. The pursuit is on. James Leach is closing the gap on Jamie Ray Nichols, determined to claim P7. Oh dear, Jacobus Besson has had an incident. James Leach is looking for an opportunity to get round Jamie Ray Nichols. What a move! James Leach has moved up to 6th. The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Drian Griesel in 12th chases after Roinick Visser. The braking alert. That won't be ideal for Jean-Pierre Dutoit. Drian Griesel has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Jacobus Besson. I expect their only hope at this point is that Jacobus Besson makes an error.
It's not over till the checkered flag drops, though, and it's important they don't lose concentration at this point.
Well, it doesn't look like Jamie Ray Nichols is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone James Leach. It's all about consistency for Ricardo Jacobs, who is currently 17th.
That's right, they can't afford to make any mistakes or let up in their performance. Every point counts in this championship.
It looks like Richard Footman is pushing hard to catch up to Ricardo Jacobs. That's not a small gap, but Richard Footman has what it takes to challenge for the position.
Indeed, the anticipation is high as Richard Footman tries to reel in Ricardo Jacobs. But Ricardo Jacobs is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Richard Footman needs to find a little extra speed to bring the fight to Ricardo Jacobs and move up the field.
The race is heating up as Jacobus Besson in 10th closes in on Martin Meyer. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. A great pass for Jacobus Basson as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Martin Meyer has lost ground.
Go, 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 that's what we want to see.
The leader has done it. What an incredible performance from Danny Van Ruyen, who was simply untouchable today. This is a race that will go down in the history books. Some might say that second place is the first loser, but Jean-Olivier certainly doesn't see it that way. They put in a phenomenal effort and should be proud of their impressive result. Impressive drive from Joni Geldenhuys to claim the final spot on the podium.
What a drive, well-deserved spot on the podium with that performance.
4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th is Ronnie Jonker, Donovan Liu. Breaking update: Chris Van Zyl has pulled into the pits. Breaking alert: Chris Van Zyl is pitting. Chris Van Zyl, JP Brand, Rian van der Westhuizen, and Roynik Visser. Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Rian van der Westhuizen is on a breezy day here at Brands Hatch. GP 50 rupees, as we're getting ready to get things underway. Sitting in 19th, it's commentator. The second place on the grid belongs to Sean Olivier, a driver with plenty of experience. Johnny Geldenhuys is third.
Johnny Geldenhuys will be taking no prisoners today.
James Leach is going to be starting from 6th. The fourth position is occupied by Ronnie Jonker.
The South African driver will be focused on a good result from here.
Donovan Liu has qualified 5th.
Let's see what Donovan Lau can do.
The lights are off, the gloves are on, and it's go time.
These opening moments can make or break a driver's race. Strategy and skill are key to navigating this intense start.
Settling into a rhythm is going to be crucial here.
I for one am really excited, Lucy. The rivalry between Ronnie Jonker and Donovan Lau has been building before the race, and this is where scores are settled.
JP Brand will be studying the nearby drivers and looking for anything that could give them an advantage. It's brilliant to see such a full grid here today.
Like gladiators, they enter Lucy, but instead of lions and swords, our champions fight in an arena of tarmac, and with fire-breathing machines of cutting-edge materials, designed to explore the very limits of physics itself in what can sometimes be very much a fight to the death.
Races are often more about maintaining consistency than having outright pace, but it doesn't hurt to have a little good luck every now and then. Oh no, John, look at this. Sean Olivier is closing in on Danny Van Ruyen. The gap is now just 0.8 seconds. Johnny Geldenhuys is placed third at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Ronnie Jonker, who is 0.6 seconds behind.
Absolutely, and on the other side of the equation, Ronnie Jonker can't afford to let up. They have to drive with intensity and focus, and wait for any opportunity to arise.
It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. Heartbreak for James Leach, as they slip down the field.
Yes, but they can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and James Leach needs to stay focused and keep pushing.
Tough break for Jamie Ray Nichols, who has just lost a position.
That's got to be frustrating. But Jamie Ray Nichols is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to battle their way back up the field.
Great driving from Jamie Ray Nichols, who has just gained a place and moved up to 6th.
That's what we like to see. Jamie Ray Nichols is really showing their class today.
While Jamie Ray Nichols is not under immediate threat from Robert Rollwink Coots, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. Chris Van Zyl is on a charge. Their split time shows they have upped their pace.
Chris Van Zyl appears to be pushing. Hopefully they can keep it together.
This is a thrilling battle as Drian Griesel edges closer to Jacobus Besson in their fight for P8.
The gap between them is just over 0.4 seconds, which can feel like miles if you're trailing and not catching up.
Wait, I don't think that's the fastest way around Brands Hatch. GP 50 rupees. It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Jean-Olivier as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time.
Anything can happen yet, and it usually does. I've certainly seen drivers come back from worse.
Donovan Liu is giving it their all as they chase down Ronnie Jonker in P4. As they speed through Westfield Bend, Jacobus Besson is relentlessly pursuing Robert Roelwink Koets in a high-stakes battle for position. It's looking good for Jacobus Besson, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Robert Roelwink Koets. The tension is building as Roynik Visser trails behind Rian van der Westhuizen. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Rian van der Westhuizen is pushing to maintain the lead, while Roynik Visser is working to close in and challenge for the position.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Rian van der Westhuizen is not going to give up the position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Roynik Visser in P11 doing everything they can to catch up.
Drian Griesel is holding 7th, but Jacobus Besson is right on their tail. Martin Meyer wants to find a way round James Leach.
There is no room for error in this battle.
The action is heating up here as James Leach is in 15th, defending from Ricardo Jacobs, who is only 0.3 seconds away.
That's right, James Leach is showing some great form and it looks like Ricardo Jacobs won't be able to catch up, barring any mistakes.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Donovan Liu, who is currently in P5. But Ronnie Jonker is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Donovan Liu.
That's right, Donovan Liu in 5th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Ronnie Jonker is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
Robert Roelwink Koets is running 9th. They are trying to catch Jacobus Besson. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Roynik Visser will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. The gap between JP Brand and Chris Van Zyl is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from JP Brand to bring Chris Van Zyl into play.
That's right, and Chris Van Zyl knows that they have to keep pushing hard and driving their own race. They can't let JP Brand off the hook.
It's looking good for Danny Van Ruyen, sitting in 1st. The gap between Danny Van Ruyen and Jean-Olivier is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Danny Van Ruyen to even allow Jean-Olivier to get a look in.
They certainly aren't going to be close enough to mount any kind of challenge soon unless it's down to a mistake from Danny Van Ruyen.
Things don't seem to be going Joni Geldenhuys' way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here.
It's not over till the checkered flag drops, though, and it's important they don't lose concentration at this point.
A strong showing from Jamie Ray Nichols, who is currently 6th. Roynik Visser has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Rian van der Westhuizen. I expect their only hope at this point is that Rian van der Westhuizen makes an error. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with James Leach trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Willy Van Wyck. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts.
Absolutely, James Leach in 15th will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
Things are going according to plan for Roynik Visser, who is currently 12th.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and Roynik Visser has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
The delta between Drian Griesel in 8th and Jamie Ray Nichols remains over a second, but Drian Griesel is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 9 minutes left in this session to make that happen.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Drian Griesel in 8th determined to catch up. But we know Jamie Ray Nichols isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate, Drian Griesel is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
Superb driving from James Leach, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
Amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
The race is really heating up. Donovan Liu is hunting down Ronnie Jonker with everything they've got.
This is not going to be an easy pass to make.
The pressure is on for Drian Griesel as they try to catch up to Jamie Ray Nichols.
The gap is 0.4 seconds now. Drian Griesel is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Jamie Ray Nichols.
Drian Griesel has just put in a faster lap than Jamie Ray Nichols, so that's going to give them something to worry about.
The question is now, can Jamie Ray Nichols respond to that in kind? They are going to have to pick up the pace.
A solid performance from Willy Van Wyck, who is holding down 13th.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
Ricardo Jacobs could be looking for a way up the inside of Richard Footman.
If you don't push the boundaries, you will never know where they are.
An impressive showing from Ricardo Jacobs, who has gained positions and left Richard Footman in the dust. It's all about consistency for Danny Van Ruyen, who is currently first. It's a battle of wills out there, with Sean Olivier trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Danny Van Ruyen. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish. No room for error here. Drian Griesel is breathing down the neck of Jamie Ray Nichols, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
The battle for 14 is heating up as Martin Meyer tries to catch Chris Van Zyl in P14. Martin Meyer is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Chris Van Zyl to 0.3 seconds.
This is where the race gets really exciting. Both drivers will be pushing to the limit to gain the advantage.
The race is heating up as JP Brand in 10th closes in on Robert Rollwink Koontz. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
This is where experience comes into play. Robert Rollwink Coots has been in this situation before and knows how to defend for position, but JP Brand is hungry for success and won't give up easily.
And JP Brand has just won the place from Robert Rollwink Coots.
Yes, but they have to keep pushing hard. This race is far from over, and anything can happen. JP Brand needs to stay focused and keep driving with skill and determination.
It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Jamie Ray Nichols as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time. Willy Van Wyck is on a mission, chasing Roynick Visser, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
I would not be surprised if they get this pass completed soon.
Good news for Willy Van Wyck, the gap to Roynick Visser has decreased. It's now down to 0.3 seconds.
This is what racing is all about, hard-fought battles with as much determination as respect, between friends and enemies alike.
We got a close battle as Chris Van Zyl closes in on Martin Meyer.
A misjudgment by either driver could result in a close encounter of the tire barrier kind, and that's one handshake they'll want to avoid.
The tension is building as Willy Van Wyck trails behind Roynick Visser. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Roynick Visser is pushing to maintain the lead, while Willy Van Wyck is working to close in and challenge for the position.
Indeed, the anticipation is high as Willy Van Wyck tries to reel in Roynick Visser. But Roynick Visser is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Willy Van Wyck needs to find a little extra speed to bring the fight to Roynick Visser and move up the field.
And there it is. Danny Van Ruyen has completed the race in first place, setting a blistering pace that none of the other drivers could match.
That was a true masterclass in driving from Danny Van Ruyen. You could see them making split-second decisions with total confidence, and it really paid off. What a performance.
What a fantastic race from Sean Olivier, who brings it home in second place. Hold on a second. Jacobus Besson is in the pits. That was an outstanding performance from Joni Geldenhuys. They fought hard and took the final spot on the podium. Ronnie Jonker, Donovan Liu, Drian Griesel, and Jamie Ray Nichols end in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Jacobus Besson, JP Brand, James Leach, and Robert Rollwink Coots in 8th. Stop the press. Chris Van Zyl has decided to pit. 12th. Wait, it looks like Chris Van Zyl has been called into the pits. Breaking development. Chris Van Zyl has pulled into the pits. Followed by Hold on a moment.